Nobody tells you what being a hero actually costs. They show you the swinging, the catchphrases, the villains exploding in slow motion. They don't show you the part where you sit on a rooftop at 3 a.m. still in the suit, watching the city sleep, and you realize you haven't cried in 6 months because you don't have time anymore. I was 15 when I got bit. 15. I should have been worrying about prom and SATs and whether the girl in my chemistry class noticed me. Instead, I was learning how to scrape blood off my own jacket before my aunt saw it. The first time I failed someone, it was Uncle Ben. Everyone knows that part. I let a guy run past me because it wasn't my problem, and then it became my problem forever. I came home that night and my aunt was on the porch, and I knew before she said anything. I knew because I had felt it in my chest hours earlier and ignored it. I never told her it was my fault. That's the thing nobody talks about. I let her grieve a stranger when the real answer was standing right in front of her, drinking the coffee she made him, wearing the jacket she washed. I started going out every night after that. Not because I wanted to be a hero, because I couldn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw his face. So I put on the mask, and I ran across rooftops until my lungs burned. And I told myself I was making things right. But you can't make things right. You can only try to make the next thing less wrong. I lost my first girlfriend because I was always late. I'd show up to dates with bruises I couldn't explain, and I'd lie, and she'd nod like she believed me, and we both knew. She told me one night she didn't feel like she was dating a person. She felt like she was dating a ghost who occasionally showed up to apologize. She was right. I let her go because she deserved someone who could actually be there. I never told her why. I think about her almost every day. I lost my best friend next. He found out who I was, and instead of being proud, he was furious. His father had been hurt in one of my fights. Collateral damage, the news called it. To him, it was his dad in a wheelchair. He told me he never wanted to see me again. We were 8 years old when we met. We built a treehouse together, and one stupid night in a warehouse undid all of it. The grocery list of people I've disappointed is longer than the list of people I've saved. Nobody wants to hear that, but it's true. For every kid I've pulled out of a burning car, there are 5 people whose lives I quietly ruined just by being in them. My grades collapsed. I lost my scholarship. I work nights at a pizza place now, and I do laundry at a coin laundromat at 4 a.m., because that's the only time I'm not patrolling. My aunt thinks I'm doing fine. I tell her I'm doing fine. I've been telling her I'm fine for so long that I forget what the word actually means. There was a girl. There's always a girl. She was brilliant and funny, and she looked at me like I was somebody worth looking at. I loved her in a way I didn't know I was capable of. We had 6 good months. He threw her off a bridge. I caught her. I want you to know that. I caught her. My web grabbed her wrist and I felt the snap, and I told myself that was just the impact. I held her in my arms on the riverbank and I begged her to open her eyes, and she didn't. And the worst part, the part I will never stop thinking about, is that I caught her. I did everything right, and it still wasn't enough. I sat with her body for 2 hours before the police came, still in the suit. Just rocking her back and forth like that would change anything. When they finally found us, they had to pull me away. I went home and I sat in the shower in my costume until the water ran cold and then ran hot again. I never took the mask off. I couldn't. If I took it off, I'd have to be Peter again. And Peter was the one who had to call her father in the morning. I don't talk about her. Not to anyone. Some grief is too big to share. You just carry it. People ask me sometimes, in the comments under the news articles, why I keep doing it. Why I don't just stop. Hang up the suit. Live a normal life. Get a girlfriend. Go to community college. Be 22 like I'm supposed to be. And the truth, the real truth I've never said out loud, is that I'm scared of what happens if I stop. If I stop, I have to think. If I stop, I have to feel. If I stop, every face I couldn't save comes flooding back, and I drown in them. So I don't stop. I swing through the city until I can't lift my arms anymore, and then I sleep for 4 hours, and then I do it again, and again, and again. I am 22 years old, and I have buried more people than most soldiers do in a lifetime. There's a kid out there right now, maybe watching this, who thinks being a hero would be the greatest thing in the world. And I'm not gonna lie to him. There are moments. There really are. The kid I pulled out of the river last spring still draws me pictures and leaves them on my aunt's doorstep. He calls me his big brother. That kept me alive for an entire month. But for every drawing, there's a funeral I can't attend because I don't know how to grieve as both versions of myself. So if you're listening, and you ever see me up there on a rooftop, and I'm just sitting there, not moving, not patrolling, just looking out at the lights, don't worry. I'm not giving up. I'm just resting, just for a minute, just long enough to remember why I started. And then I'll get up. Because somewhere in this city, somebody is about to have the worst night of their life. And I'd rather it be me than them. That's the deal I made. That's the deal I keep making. Every single night.